I'm going to play you video of a Texas border rancher. He and his wife bought the ranch in 2021. A lifelong dream. And then all of a sudden, illegal aliens began popping up. Not just popping up, in his own house, in his kitchen. And he went to the authorities. They did nothing. Went to a different authority. Did nothing. And this is what he went through 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, at least most of 2024, until President Trump got reelected. And it was as if somebody switched on a light. Listen to this story about this Texas border rancher.
Sometimes this place is real hard to defend, but it's my home. If I could live anywhere in the United States, I'd be in Texas. And if anywhere in Texas, I'd live right here on this border. There's a romance, there's a ambiance about this place that it's unlike anywhere else. My name's Martine Wall. I live in Eagle Pass, Texas. I ranch and import cattle from Mexico and feed cattle. My family leased it for, they had a 100-year lease on this place, and so they've been here since I believe the late 30s, early 40s. And in 2021, May 20th, I had to own it, so I bought it. It's been a dream of mine. I mean, I was living my dream. Every day I woke up, I lived my dream. The day I bought it, that night we were laying in bed, me and my wife, and she woke me up, and there was some illegals that were there in the kitchen, and we had to go in there and just having somebody in your kitchen that you can't do nothing about, that are pretty much, that they have no respect for you, that they just pretty much spit in your face, and we called the Border Patrol, and they told us that we were on our own. The local sheriff's department didn't want to do anything, and so we had to kind of fend for ourselves. And it was a pretty empty feeling when your wife doesn't feel safe at your own home, at her own home that you just bought that day. The railroad splits our ranch in two, and our southern half is going to be the U.S. Customs for the railroad. So then they run the X-ray machine, the trains through the X-ray machine, and the illegals were wanting to get on the train to ride the train north, and they couldn't get on until it went through the X-ray. So they would just come and congregate right there on our house, waiting for the train to pass to where they could get on it. And hundreds of them a day, hundreds. Sometimes there were 400 or 500 people out there. After Biden went in and they started coming, we didn't get to have any cattle anymore because they would cut the fences so bad, and cattle drew. I couldn't keep them in. I couldn't keep 20 head of roping steers in. They'd cut the fences on our arena, and so our days consisted of from probably 8 to 2. We'd be fixing fence that they tore up the night before, and then the last 2 hours a day we would start, fixing windows and tractors, or they burnt the engine up on a bulldozer, and just all kinds of stuff, trying to secure things down that they're not going to steal. At one point I was at my arena and I was welding, and I kept my doors open in my truck so where I could hear the phone ring over the welder, and I was 10 feet away from it welding, and I had my hood down, and when I got done I went back to my truck to go call the house to check on everything, and I couldn't find my phone, my briefcase, my pistol, my computer. Everything in my truck was gone. And the guy that works for me, he came over and he saw a bunch of little footprints on the passenger side of the truck in the dirt, and we tracked those footprints for about 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and a girl had him, and she had a backpack on it, and we called my phone, and it rang in her backpack. Border Patrol, number one, they were too busy. They just said, call somebody else. So we called the DPS, which they had to call the county police, and our sheriff came out there, and his exact words was, "Por besito, Martin, you have enough," and he let her go. That was an empty feeling, just not having any. You were pretty much on your own down here. It was the Wild West. It's not Mexico. I saw very few Mexicans, very, very few Mexicans. It was everywhere but Mexico. It was Somalia, China, the Congo. I mean, people from all over the world. Russians. They were all from all over, different walks of life, everywhere, and they were out of prisons. They were, they were all had records, and they would just sit there and, you would see them. The guys would catch them, and 2 days later you'd see the same people coming back through. They just drive them to the river and let them go, and then they'd come right back. The worst part of the whole thing was just seeing the kids with their blank look on their face because the crying was over for them. By the time they got to here, they were already over crying, and they have the most empty eyes that you've ever seen. Because they're 13 kids with 3 adults, and knowing that they're not their parents or loved ones or guardians. They're you at one time I tried to give some water, and to watch the adults rip the water out of the children's hands to drink for themselves is heartbreaking, because knowing those kids are what they're going to have to go through.
We found a woman that had been raped by 12 different men, and I was really scared for my daughter, because there were so many girls that had been raped that they'd found that were beaten. I mean, I said one, but there'd been lots of them.
You'd be driving along there, and you'll find a little shrub brush, and they'd have panties and little socks and undergarments, little bras, and hanging in the trees as a shrine, as knowing somebody got raped there and that they were shrining it and being 100 yards from your house really bothers you, knowing that happened within eyesight of my house, and that kind of gets you really. Makes you second guess, are you being a better parent by keeping your kids involved in that? But I promised myself that I wouldn't have my kids be a prisoner in their own home. So I still let them go around the ranch and be kids and act like kids. But I had to send my daughter out with a pistol. And my son, he couldn't go ride his bike and do things with normal kids that I got to grow up, doing, exploring, and you couldn't do that with him no more. It was just, there was people just all the time, every day, all hours of the day, just surrounded your place.
Before, we used to have people that came across that were looking for work, but under the Biden administration, it seemed like it was mostly like criminals, and they didn't want work or anything. They just came here to be destructive.
All I was trying to do was make a living, to hold my cattle, I had to go as far as leasing land, in 500 miles away. And to have another total expense like that, it's not feasible. It just doesn't work. The day Biden went in office, it was like he turned it on. And here they come. And the day Trump went in, it was over. So it was all, it leads me to believe it was all, by plan, 100%. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. Just from one minute to the next, it stopped. What the illegal immigration did in the Biden era was I quit counting at $364,000 because I was just obsessed with it. I'd just sit there and look at the numbers and wonder how I was going to make it tomorrow, or make payroll, or buy groceries or anything. I just don't think you could dig a hole that deep. So when you're that far down, it's easy to look up.
We spent our hard money, everything that my husband's worked for to buy this place that his grandparents never had the opportunity to buy. And then as soon as we buy it, then we get all this destruction, and we haven't had a chance to enjoy it. All we've been doing is defending it the last 4 years because we just got it in 2021.
Just being alive out here is what but it was the best about being American. Being able to skip rocks at the tank and being able to teach my son about, grasses and where they grow. And I mean, it's the freedom to worship who you want to worship, to the capitalism to make your own way in life. That's what makes me feel like American. This is America.